Hi, Sherry here from Sherry's Coffee Break. Today I'm going to be working on my block of the month for February, and I'll let you know what that is. The block is called Patience Corner. So I'm going to cut out my fabric, I'll sew a little bit together, and I'll show you what it looks like. I picked out my 3 fabrics for my block. It's the khaki color with the polka dots. I've got purple with little flowers on it, and the other one underneath it, oh gosh, if I can get it, it's a brown with flowers on it. So my first block has to be 4.5 by 4.5. So I laid my fabric over here on the right, and I've got both pieces. So I counted over 1, 2, 3, 4.5. And now all I have to do is take my cutter, and Now I'll take my rotary cutter and cut along the 4.5 inch all the way up. And then I'll turn the mat and I'll cut it the other way, 4.5. All right, I just need to lift this off. And then this is the fabric that I don't need now because I've cut it off. So this will be my extra. And then now I have this piece I have to cut. I tried to line up my fabric on the right hand side over here, but I couldn't get it straight, so I have to square off my fabric. So I lined it up here, so this is all lined up. Now I lined it up here correctly, so now this little bit of piece of fabric you see hanging out at the end, I have to cut that off. So let me set this down and I'll cut it and I'll show you. Alright, my mom's holding the camera while I'm cutting, so hopefully you can see this. And then just take that off right there. Okay, and that's it. Okay, now I'm going to move the ruler, this ruler to the left 4.5 inches. And keep it all lined up. So 4.5. And 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4.5. But this is where I cut it. All right. All right, so that's 4.5. So this should be a 4.5 by 4.5 inch square, and I can check it. I know that's right, so then I can check it from here. Yep, and that's 4.5 and 4.5. And I need one more here and there. Okay, that's my extra. And then this is four and a half. So these are my 4.5 inch squares. So I have 2 of each. So there's 1, 2, and 1 and 2. The next 2 strips I need are 2.5 by 4.5, 1 light and 1 medium. So I've got it where it's 2.5, so I'm going to cut 2 2.5 inch strips, and they're one on top of the other. Okay, now I'm on the other side. I turned the mat and I took off the end piece here because it wasn't lining up. And then I'm at 4.5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So I'm cutting right here. So these will be 2 strips of 2.5 by 4.5. All right, I needed one more set of 2.5 inch strips. 1 of each color, the light and the medium. So now I'm cutting it again. And I need it open. Well, I've just discovered that the fabric I needed for the medium, which was this piece, is not big enough. I don't have enough of this fabric to make 2 sets of the 2.5 by 6.5 inch strips. So I had to dig for another color. So this is the light. I can still use this piece. and then I needed another medium, so I chose a similar piece. And instead of changing out all my fabrics to make this a medium, I'm just going to use this in addition to the medium that I had already started with. So I'll show you what it looks like on the design board when I'm finished cutting it out, because I've laid it on the design board piece by piece. All right, I'm going to cut this, so now I can take this fabric away. And I'm going to cut this into 2.5 by 6.5 inch strips. And this is, I've got the ruler laid out already to cut a 2.5 inch strip. Another 2.5 inch strip. All right. Here are my 2 sets of 2.5 inch strips, and now I have to cut them into 6.5 inch. And I got them off the line when I moved the ruler, so I have to put them back. Yes. Okay. I'm going to square up the fabric. So I'm going to turn the mat. I already have the fabric lined up. I'm just cutting off this little piece right here. Take the ruler and line it up. There. And that didn't work. Push a little harder. Okay, that worked. And then I have to count over 6.5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 is here. Okay, it's lined up. These are my 2.5 by 6.5 inch squares, my 2 sets of them, or strips, not squares. So I'm going to put them on the design board. And here's the design board. And this is how I have it laying. And then I'm going to taking this. Goes like this. All right, this is how it looks like on the design board. I was putting it on there as it was on camera, but it wasn't working. So I put it on the design board. And so I have my light, my medium, and my dark. And even though I had to change out this piece and this piece, well, these two to make a medium, I still think it looks okay. I like it.
I do too.
All right, so this is what it looks like before it's sewn.